Well, you could still do it. What were you going to say?
I was just going to ask, when I'm in my alter ego, do I still have access to the magic? Not the thaumaturgy and stuff like that, but the magic that I learned?
I completely forgotten about that. Holy crap. Give me a second to think. Let me get through the introduction real quick. Welcome to another episode of World by Night, Vamp Edition. This is a side session with Magnus and possibly Magnus's alter ego. All depends if I can get my brain working that much. Not here.
Okay.
We were just discussing, when I realized that we weren't live, we were just discussing that Magnus was watching the box and watching the Seneschal right now, who's taken over Dante's position since Dante basically got him and left, and nobody knows where he went. He was watching the Seneschal, who was doing a bunch of paperwork and miscellaneous crap that he has to do because Dante apparently doesn't like paperwork. Dante met with someone, or Duke met with somebody, but unfortunately Magnus was unable to see who it was. He only heard Duke's end of the conversation, which was very sparse, cryptic, and didn't really say much of anything about who he was actually talking to. And they pretty much left, and that's when I noticed we weren't live.
All right.
For those who are used to watching these sessions, you know sometimes I just slack. Brain not functioning, whatever.
All right. So with that being said, if that's the only person really that meets up with him or comes and talks to him, do any of the Primogen go and speak to him?
Sure, why not? Actually, he has meetings with all the Primogens. Can't do one with Giovanna yet. But he has a meeting with all the Primogens. Let them know that the city is not without a prince, sort of. He's the Seneschal. He will be covering for, Dante. For now, if things continue on the way, he will gladly step down if a new prince is brought forward.
Okay. Does he invite me for an invite or for a meeting then, since I'm the Primogen at the moment?
Yes.
Okay. So at that point, I will arrive at the location.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Keep an eye on the people that are around me, make certain that I'm not being trailed, different things like that. Go up to meet him.
Okay. I should knock on the door. Come in.
Enter into the room.
Magnus, correct?
Correct.
Okay, good. Sorry,
you
I've been meeting with all the Primogen. I lose track.
And you are Duke.
I am Duke, yep. I am the acting Seneschal until something gets sorted out.
How much do you know about what's going on right now, then?
Believe me, I've been let in on most of it by the other Primogens, by my fellow gangrel, a few gargoyles. Basically, I'm getting the general gist that if I run well enough, they'll just keep me in.
I see. And what about Dante?
Not hearing anything good.
Have you heard from him?
No.
Interesting.
He has made no contact whatsoever. He's got all my contact. He has all the ways to contact me, and he's made zero contact.
Okay, I want to do a aura perception check on that.
Okay.
Let me just get my character up.
You don't even have your lower third. See, I'm not the only one slacking.
That's his alternate ego. I don't want that one yet.
Really confuse these people.
Okay, now it is what? Perception and awareness for Auspex?
I knew you were going to ask me that. I should probably do it. Give me a second. I don't remember right off the top of my head. I think you're right.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to confirm before I say anything. Aura perception. Holy fucking crap. Well, that's useless.
I can get it up here real quick too. 20th edition.
No, it's not going to be the resistant roll because she's not fucking paying attention.
Okay.
Because it actually says nice function to simple comparison relative rating to keep things simple. Oh, it's basically to see. That's stupid. I'm just gonna let you. Yeah, just perception awareness. Yeah, that's
okay. All right. So difficulty 8. Each success indicates the subject's aura.
Oh no, sorry. Perception empathy. My fault.
Yeah, that's what I rolled.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so by the looks of it, it looks like I only got 1 success.
Yeah, what's the difficulty 8?
It's enough for me to tell whether he's lying, I think, right?
Yeah, good enough. No, he's not.
Okay. Works for me.
Yeah, he's actually being honest about that. He hasn't heard anything from that.
Okay. And that being said now, I say that I heard that if someone decides to step up after a certain amount of time, that you would quietly step down and allow that to happen.
Honestly, I don't want to be in this position. I'm not what you call a good leader. I've always been more of a follower, and I prefer it to stay that way.
Well, for now, we can always keep up the masquerade if you need to, and I can always aid you with other things.
That would be appreciated, because honestly, I hate paperwork too. And apparently, so did Dante.
My clan, I am used to it. Yeah. Now, the first thing that comes up, Marcus Vital. Have you heard anything about him?
I heard rumors that he's back, but nothing is confirmed. I put feelers out, and no one seems to know anything. So if he is around, he's way deep in hiding, which makes sense because he wasn't exactly well liked here to begin with. Well, he was fine until they found out he was in La Sombra, and then everybody kind of got pissed off.
Mm-hmm. I see. I noticed that you had a visitor. Something about keeping their secret safe.
Looks at you.
Yes, I have my own way of finding things out too.
Yes, and that's about all I'll comment on that.
Now,
nobody against nobody against anything, if that's what you're thinking.
That's fine.
That was one of the things they made sure to tell me is they're not here to cause an uprising. They're just, as they put it, visiting.
Okay. Big thing right now that I wanted to ask you, the officers that you have in your power right now.
Yes.
Have you determined where their loyalties lie? Make certain that they are not, well, it sounds kind of odd, but not loyal to Dante.
Right now, I'm still kind of feeling some of them out. There are a few I know that are loyal to, well, I should say not loyal to Dante, but loyal to the position of Prince. No matter who's sitting in it. Well, depending on who's sitting in it, I should say.
Okay.
Other than that, I haven't been able to feel out everyone yet. I've been trying to do my best with catching up on paperwork and finding out what's what. Personally, I fucking hated Dante to begin with. I thought there was something off about it, but oh my, I was just the foot soldier.
Yes. Well, it's good that you had that gut feeling. That shows that you have some common sense on that part.
Yeah, something never seemed right about him.
As for why he decided to put you in as a seneschal and then just leave like this is kind of an interesting thing, especially if you didn't have quite the trust for him.
Yeah, that's kind of what's shocking me too, but I'm just gonna go with it for now, and once everybody decides on something, I mean, technically right now, as far as I know, he hasn't even made an appearance within the box.
No,
he hasn't been seen in days, so technically thankfully, it's a little bit safer to come here again. I know a lot of people kind of stayed away due to the fact that he was here.
I've been keeping an eye on things. I know he hasn't been by or around. He hasn't even been near. So,
yeah.
as
far as I'm concerned.
Okay. Can you do me a favor?
Depends.
In this office, keep yourself a bowl of water. Just set it off to the side of the desk.
Sure.
Good. That way...
No, I don't drink, right?
Oh, you don't need to. It's there for me to be able to send you messages and missives as necessary.
God.
Yes.
Not phone call, text, something? Or just
those can be traced.
Okay, fair enough. Gotcha.
I find my way of being able to communicate with people sometimes works out a little bit easier and a little bit better, although you kind of need to have some water or some sort of liquid nearby.
Some sort of liquid nearby. I think I can arrange something. Sure.
Okay. So these people that you're not quite sure of yet, do you have any that you need watched or investigated?
No, I think it's more just I just haven't gotten a chance to actually talk to them. I learned a few tricks in the time I've been around. One of them is keeping an eye out on those who seem wrong. I'm able to determine whether or not they're lying to me.
One of my own clan's tricks.
And a few others. Actually, didn't learn it from a Tremere, but yeah, I learned.
Well, that's good.
It cost me a shit ton.
Prices for learning things can be expensive.
Yeah, but it was worth it, and has helped me quite a bit more than I expected.
It will, especially in this position. One of the other things as well is make certain that you have your defenses up, so those who decide to try to influence your emotions can be blocked a little easier.
Yeah, I will definitely. I've definitely been kind of keeping an eye on things anytime someone's suspicious, or even I. See, this is the weird thing. I think this is one of the reasons why ironically, I'm actually truly a close associate with both Cash and, the real Dante.
I'm sorry for your loss then.
Yeah, I wasn't happy about it. Another reason why I don't like Fake Boy.
Cash and I was actually discussing about the princehood, and he doesn't want it anymore. I'm sure you already know that part if you're friends with him.
I haven't talked to him in a while, but I knew when he left that was one of the things he had been saying for a long time, that he kind of, he thinks he had fulfilled what he needed to do here, and
yes,
change things for the better.
As for the reason why I haven't yet claimed Praxis myself is because of some other things that people are working on, and I'm just waiting to see if they come to fruition or not. If not, then my claim will be laid, although it seems to be taking forever.
Well, you know how the kindred work. Take their time doing everything.
On a more personal note, are you more independent or are you more Camarilla loyal?
I follow my clan.
So, more independent than anything then.
I mean, I do agree with some of the Camarilla's precepts, and I agree with some of the things they have, just like Cash did. I don't agree with the way we kind of been treated for a long while. I'm not saying any particular clan specifically, but, that's been true. Tend to be more of the ones who, but then again, they treat everybody like shit. So.
Well, you have a few gargoyle that are on the employ of the Vox here, and they've known me from pre-slavery days, I guess. Yes, pre-freedom days, I guess would be the best way to word that. And if you talk to them, I usually was fairly good with dealing with that as well. I didn't treat them as poorly as some of my other clanmates. And I look at it this way. People are assets if you treat them well. They will perform well. If you treat them poorly, then expect the same response.
Agreed.
So if I do make a claim for the Praxis, I will be definitely looking for people who are willing to help in the city and for the betterment of the city. whether
Well,
they be true blue Camarilla or whether they be independents that follow the precepts of the Camarilla. As long as they are willing to follow the rule, then I have no issues with them.
that is one thing. I mean, before Cash ever declared the Gangrel independent, I mean, it was a long time coming, anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Since we've been back and forth already. But before he declared them independent, he actually had a meeting with all the higher ups within the entire Gangrel network.
Mm-hmm.
And they all pretty much agreed with the same thing. They liked what the Camarilla was doing overall, but they didn't like how the Camarilla was doing.
Mm-hmm.
So that's when they all came to the agreement that they will claim independence, but they will still, they'll still uphold a majority of the masquerade. There are some things that naturally we as free-spirited individuals like to do that tends to go against the laws of the Camarilla.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry, we wouldn't do anything within the city.
Well, that's fine. Like I said, I like to make certain that people know if they're loyal, they get treated well. I'm not one to make an example of somebody unless you royally screw up. If you royally screw up, then, well, you called it upon yourself.
Yeah, you pretty much asked for it.
Exactly. So, if you can, keep me in touch with keep me up to date with any information that you find out, either about Vital or Dante or whatever.
Like I said, I've been having feelers out trying to find out about either one of them. It seems as if Dante, or whatever the fuck his real name is, dumbass as I'm calling him now, just kind of disappeared off the face of the planet for a while. Not unheard of. He probably went deep into hiding into places where he already had people who were loyal to him who wouldn't say a word, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean that kind of worries me a bit, but at the same time, most of the city doesn't like him. So
yes, not to mention he's been dealing with a demon, so I'm not sure whether or not he's made a pact with him or not. It's something that I got to figure out. All right. Well, congratulations on the appointment of Seneschal. Even though, by technicality, if it was appointed by Dante, who is a false prince because he's not even a kindred.
Yeah, I know. That's a whole. That's one of the things we've been discussing. I've been discussing with the other primogens, and they all, since they feel like, basically right now they're just kind of giving me a chance anyway, since technically Dante wanted to the throne, and there's no hard evidence yet.
Yes. Hard evidence of what, him not being who he is? Yes, there is.
Oh, is there?
We found Dante's ashes and confirmed.
Yeah, no, I really don't like the guy.
Yeah. So that's where we're at right now.
Okay.
And if I can find him, we have ways of trying to deal with him. But we got to find him first.
From what I'm gathering, that's easier said than done.
Exactly. I've been keeping an eye out, but he's got things working for him that make it hard for me to locate him.
Yeah, well.
I'm going to see if
he'll slip up eventually.
I'm hoping I can pull some other resources and tap a few other things around the city and see what happens. All right. Well.
By the way, I don't know if you've heard, but I've gotten a few calls from some really very powerful shifters.
Uh-huh.
They're not in a good mood.
No, they're not.
I've tried to explain to them that, hey, I'm not the guy that they're calling Dante.
Mm-hmm.
Believe me, that's hard enough to get them to make them believe that. And secondly, the other thing is
hold on, sorry about that. Sorry, that was the kids screaming in the background.
Yeah, I could do. I have a feeling if we do find him, if the shifters don't get their piece of him, they're not going to be happy.
Yep.
So I'm not sure how to handle it, even if we do get him. That's going to be a fun part.
I think the best way to deal with it would be is if we can actually capture him and present him to the shifters. That would probably be the easiest way, and let them deal with him.
Mm-hmm.
From what I've heard, yeah, there's a very powerful shifter in town right now,
Yeah.
and you don't want to.
Yeah, I know that name. Oh. Yeah, as soon as he called, I was like, oh.
But if he is willing, and this is something you can suggest, if he's willing to appoint a few to aid us in locating him, we will more than happily share dealing with Dante with them.
Well, here's the one problem, and believe me, I could tell just by the brief conversation I had with before he put me on with Robert.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't like us.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, hates us. He hates us.
Mhm.
But he won't go against the pact that was made with the elders here, because technically, even though he is the as
King of the werewolves.
Yes, king of the werewolves. Technically, the cairn is actually under the control of the werecats.
Mm-hmm.
So they made the agreement. He's willing to abide by it for now, but even he said that's only temporary. They want justice for their slain kin, which I don't blame. I want justice on the asshole too.
Do you have a contact number for Robert?
He has to contact us because apparently the technology is not working on the cairn.
Interesting.
So he calls when he has a chance. Yeah, something apparently their PT guy set up so that way it's a little more protected. And,
if you speak to Robert, next, if you can have him contact me, and Magnus would reach in and hand a business card over to him. Not my normal way of conversation, but it'll have to work for them. I would like to talk with him and try and figure out what we can do to deal with this situation. I want it resolved as fast as possible and with as little bloodshed between the two groups as possible.
Yeah, I don't think that would go very well either way.
Exactly.
Well, next time I talk to him, I think he's going to call in a couple of hours anyway, so I'll give him your contact number.
All right.
He's been calling every few hours, seeing for an update if we have anything, since I can't get a hold of him.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
have you guys gotten anyone to try summoning the new or the fake Dante?
Can't say that I have personally. Like I said, I mean, I just kind of got. I mean, when right before he left, he appointed me, and since then I've been making up this fucking slack.
Do you have any people who would be able to summon him on your payroll right now?
I don't know. I'd actually have to look. I'm not sure if anyone has the capabilities.
That may be the simplest way to actually deal with the situation.
Sure.
And sometimes the simplest ones are the ones overlooked.
Usually, yeah. Well, I've learned we kindred tend to over-examine too much and then find the hardest way to do it first and then figure out later, hey, we could have done it simply.
Yes.
If nothing else, if Robert calls again, I'll see if maybe they might have somebody who could try it. I know they tend to be more in touch with the spiritual realm than a lot of us, so maybe they can even find him for us.
Mm-hmm.
Hard work if they haven't already, but I doubt it. He did say he would call me and at least let me know one way or the other. Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. I'm going to go and speak with somebody else and see if I can get some information figured out for this as well. I'll keep you updated. And
you're stuck.
Please do me the same favor. If you find any information out, let me know.
Most definitely.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And have a good evening.
You too.
Magnus turns and walks out. Going to get to a car, go for a drive over by the FBI headquarters, look for Agent Giles.
He's there.
Okay, has he got a coffee cup or anything near him? And is he by himself?
He's currently talking to someone, but you notice one thing's different. He's got a different office.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I'll wait for that person to leave, and then send him a message through the coffee, basically saying, Agent Giles, I think it's time that we probably have a conversation.
Short time later, you see the guy leave. You see him look into the cup. Diana, hold on my calls. I'll be back in a little bit. I have to make a run.
Okay, I'll give him.
Farewell, director.
Interesting. Okay, I give him a location on where to meet with me.
Okay.
And I will watch to make certain that no one is going with him and he doesn't get people to follow or watch.
He doesn't.
Okay. I'll meet him at the location then.
Okay.
Agent Giles, or should I say Director Giles now?
Yes.
Congratulations on that.
It's good when you have some blackmailing information.
Yes, very much so. Speaking of which, I know that was one of the issues you had while you were working so well with Dante, or the one who was pretending to be Dante.
Yeah, well, from what I hear, that what I had against him is already leaked out, so.
Yes. Now, that being said, I know you don't really follow the Sabbat traditions. I know you don't really follow the Camarilla traditions. I do know, though, that you do like your position and you do like to be able to survive and exist within DC, as do a lot of us. I propose we work together. And in exchange, because you already perceive and keep up the masquerade just as normal with Camarilla traditions. And
better than doing it the spot way, which is just basically run around, kill everything.
Exactly. I have, and I know there's a history between our clans.
Consider that.
I have a little bit of a different view on things when it comes to people. I like people who are useful. I really don't buy into the biases of our histories. So you don't have to worry about me trying to backstab you. What I do want to do is I want to pool our resources to find Dante and eliminate him. There are, and I'm sure you've already got this information, a lot of other creatures that are in the area right now.
Including hunters and yes.
Yes.
I'm well aware of all of them.
I've been watching as well. Now, is this something you would be willing to do or interested in doing? I've been warned before not to trust you, but I think what it is people haven't been able to give you the trust because of clan and what you are. I'm willing.
I'll leave it at, to be quite honest, I was the one who called the hunters in, but I wasn't calling them in for you guys.
Okay.
I specifically sent a message to the Society of Leopold. I wanted them to hunt down Dante, so, or the guy portraying to be Dante, I should say.
Yes. Have they had any luck, or have you had any luck on locating where he is?
No, they're too fucking busy with everything else. Which is why now I regret bringing them in. Because they go, oh, look, shiny, and then they're off because they're all kindred, and that's not what I brought them in for. So, and try calling them off. That's easier said than done.
Exactly. Especially because of the fact that, kindred for some reason get it in their panties that if they're being hunted, then they have to fight back. And as soon as they fight back, that leads credence to the hunters coming in the first place, and they lead more.
Yeah. Giant circle.
Yes.
Yes, I know. I've been trying to keep, and unfortunately, due to the influx of people and the activity within the city, it has drawn the attention of the other government agencies who've been keeping an eye on the world of darkness, which I really did not want.
I'm going to use my aspects on him on that one.
He did and he didn't want it. I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
To a point, but he didn't want it as much, obviously.
Didn't get a read on him anyway.
Yeah.
All right. So here's the thing that I can do. Do you still have to hunt, or do you have a blood supply of your own?
I have one mine.
Okay. Because I was going to say I have an unusual knack that prevents me from needing, or keeps me from having to hunt. And I can produce for others as well that way. And don't worry, it's not blood bonding or anything else like that. It is just blood that people can use, other than Venture, oddly enough.
Fuck, I don't care.
I was going to suggest and offer you that I can provide you with that if you need, in exchange for your cooperation and help, as well as not fucking with me, I guess would be the simplest way.
Well, like I said, I called the society in to deal with Dante, or the guy murdering Charles.
Yes.
Not Dante. I brought him in to deal with Charles. I thought they could handle it, and I thought, if nothing else, because the Society of Leopold has always been pretty good about keeping things under the radar, that it'd be easier. But apparently, it got out to other hunters, which started a fucking snowball event.
Yep. And that happens.
Yeah. Rumors the Society of Leopold's in town, and suddenly every hunter worth a fucking grain of salt wants to be in on it because they want to be part of the society.
Yes.
Fuck. What a fucking pain in the ass that has been. Believe me, I've had agents all over the place trying to round these assholes up.
The second part of that to be concerned about is when they find a werewolf and deal with that situation.
I was under the impression that they don't usually come into the city for many obvious reasons, but other than the class walkers, I believe is what they call themselves, the city wolves, as they're called by everyone else.
I think you might have been a little bit too focused on the society right now. Albrecht is in town.
Oh, fuck! God. Yeah, apparently I was too focused on the society, and I have to go kill someone.
Oh, okay.
Because my fucking contact didn't tell me that Albrecht was in town.
Mm-hmm. He's staying at the cairn in between here and Bethesda.
Fun.
Yes. Now, he's been in contact with the person who's currently in charge, and apparently it hasn't been a very good conversation. But Robert has been dealing with that as well.
Well, that's the one thing I always gave to Robert, is that he was always trying to keep the peace, so to speak. They had their own battles to fight. We had our own battles to fight, so it was better not to let the two cross. And the few times they did, they managed to work out some kind of arrangement. I mean, that was the one good thing with Cash and Robert being in power, is they kept things kind of evened out.
Yes.
Kept things going the right way.
Well, if things continue on the way that they are, I think I may be making a play for the throne. Yes. I'm waiting to see what happens with the whole, well, here's another one, with the whole Marcus Vital part. And
No. He's not coming back. I refuse. He comes back, I'm coming into power.
Then do you want to help deal with him as well? Because that seems to be a plan that someone else has been working on. Their thought is that if we put him against Dante, they're going to clash and take each other out.
Oh, we could only fucking hope, but I don't see that happening.
No.
As a matter of fact, unfortunately, I think Vital has the upper hand on Charles. Because I'm actually pretty sure Vital has the upper hand on Charles, seeing as how I know who Vital is.
A La Sombra. I can't say specifically Sabat La Sombra, but I heard he was...
Yeah, he's Sabat. I'll tell you that now.
He's been allowing a lot of Sabat packs in when he was in power before Cash.
Yeah, but I'm not just talking about that. I'm talking about I know what his real name is and where he comes from and how old he is.
His real name?
Yeah. Oh,
that can be worth a lot of power.
Oh, quite a bit.
You know, there's people in my clan that could do something with that.
So you can get a pad, piece of paper, and then hand it to you.
Take it. What's the name on it?
Lucius Sejanus Aurelius.
Lucius Janus
Sejanus Aurelius.
Sejanus.
He was a Roman soldier during the times of when Jesus was walking.
Okay. So he's been around
Ironically,
for a long time.
ironically, when he became Prince of DC, one of the rules he implemented, which is why the Giovanni were so eager to get back in the city, one of the rules he implemented was that they weren't allowed within the city because of their unusual traits.
Mm.
He was afraid that they would desecrate the Arlington National Cemetery, him being a former soldier himself. Um, he absolutely refused to allow that to happen.
Well, that's understandable then. Okay. Now,
By
back
the way,
to
he had, I don't know if he still does, he had high contacts within the Black Hand.
oh, fun.
Mhm.
Now,
Actually, I believe he was a member, but I could never prove it. I
oh, that would be
can't say for certain, but I know he had very high contacts within the spot because they
if
pretty
we
much did whatever he said.
if we can find where he's located, you guys could do a strike team on him, though, correct?
Hmm.
Preferably during the daytime.
I have a team set up. So, thankfully, the one thing the former director did do is he kept the special response team quite familiar with various tactics and how to handle certain vulnerable darkness members. Of course,
Yes.
I touched on some of them. Can't let them know all the secrets.
Speaking of which, do you know of what Charles truly is?
I heard he's not kindred. I mean, the most I know is that he's not an actual kindred. He is a vampire of some sorts, which
Mm-hmm.
I don't care to know any more than that. But
Okay.
he is a vampire of some sorts, but he does not officially fall under the terms of kindred, which is how him being a prince was bullshit.
Exactly. Now, one of the things I will say for you to deal with your strike teams and stuff like that is some of the old stereotypes of kindred, of vampires, I will put it that way, apparently work against him. Holy symbols,
Gotcha.
garlic, that
I
type
don't
of
think I
stuff.
have. I don't think I have a single fucking holy guy in the group. But you know what? I might actually have to get one now.
All right. As for locating him for Charles, have you heard anything about where he might be, where he's gone to ground?
No, and that's pretty impressive because I had some pretty deep contacts in just about every nook and cranny. And I haven't heard peep one about him. I mean, last I heard he was in the box, and then he just disappeared like he fucking.
He's got some help right now that actually prevents me from actually seeing him too.
Dickhead.
But the
Oh, the
benefit
guy,
of
the
that,
demon.
the demon or something else. I'm not sure who's done
I
it
don't even
specifically.
want to know what the or something else is.
No, you don't.
This planet's getting too crowded.
And at this moment, I can't really say about what the or something else is. Kind of limited on those things. As it is, though, it not only hides him from me, it leaves it as a big black blob wherever he's at. So one of the things that I think we need to do sometime is take a nice drive around town and see if I notice any big black blobs.
Let's hope they haven't caught on to that and are changing it up.
I hope not.
God, that would make things really more complicated. He could be Joe Bob over there on the street, and we wouldn't know it if that's the case.
Exactly. Although I do have a few people that have been aiding me in this that would probably have given me a heads up if they've figured something out like that.
Okay.
Nice idea not to ask.
I figured it's better that way.
Yeah, I think that's about it for now that I can deal with.
Like I said,
Are we good then?
I do have a strike team on standby, and I will keep them on standby for as long as necessary until at least Charles is taken care of. Once that's done, I can't promise I won't let the division continue their work, but thankfully, much to what they don't know is I'm well aware of some of the World of Darkness members within the group.
Well, my thought is that we can always steer that to the right targets at that point. I know you're not really fond of the way that the Sabbat works, and a strike team comes in very handy for dealing with those type of things and makes them feel like they're important.
Yeah, that's true.
So are we good then on what I was talking with you about?
For now. You
Okay.
haven't given me a reason to doubt you yet, but people can change their minds, especially when presented with one thing or another. Who knows?
I understand what you're saying. I myself, though, I'm fairly good at keeping my word. If I make a deal, it's a deal.
Well,
So I just hope you think and keep that in mind when you go about your business. All right? And keep some sort of liquid nearby you when you're in your office. That way, if I do need to contact you, I don't have a big trust for cell phones and such.
I don't blame you.
Mm-hmm.
I have about 4,000 or so wiretaps going right now. Believe me, I hear a lot of conversations. But honestly, most of them I don't want to know.
And you haven't heard anything yet about Dante with all those conversations. That's interesting.
Well, only about a third of those are actual kindred or World of Darkness taps.
Mm-hmm.
They're a little harder because them damn bastards get. Because the rest
Clever.
of the kindred and everybody else are getting smart about not being so open over the phone.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, I'm going to have to go for now then. But keep an eye out, and if you hear anything, contact me. And he gives you a business card as well with his contact number. Try not to tap me, because I'll be very upset.
Okay.
Thank you. Okay, and he goes on his way. I'll watch while I'll leave, but I'll stick within about 5 miles and watch to see whether he goes back, whether he makes any calls or anything else like that.
He does go back. He makes a few calls, trying to get information on the suspect known as Dante.
Mm-hmm.
Calls a few people. He calls a couple of people that he just goes, I need the information. Whatever you can find on him. I don't care how you get it. Somebody find me a way to get rid of the fucking society within the city, or at least bring their numbers down. You got too many of them bastards running around, and them stupid ass wannabe hunters with them.
Okay. And that's pretty much all he talks about?
Yeah, other than that, then he does a bunch of FBI stuff.
Okay. So I'm going to go.
He's got to do all that.
Yeah. I'm going to go for a drive around town and just keep an eye out to see if I get any black blotches. I'll just be like, Flora, I know you're listening one way or another. If your eyes and ears is available, maybe he could come and talk with me.
Yeah, while you're driving around, you seen the passenger seat, Daniel sitting there. You called?
Yes, I did. They're not on to me being able to spot them through the blob of blackness, are they?
See him think for a second. Yes, they are. They don't know how you're doing it. They just know that you were somehow able to keep a watch on them, even when they were supposed to be unwatchable.
Have they countered it then?
They're trying to figure out exactly what it is you're doing first.
Okay.
But for now, they're going to keep it a giant black blob. Well, actually, they have shrunk it down. I got to give them credit. It's not such a large blob anymore.
Okay.
Chronon is smarter, dumbass.
If
figured it out, but now being a god.
If they figure it out, I may need some other way to be able to track them, because I need to find him and I need to deal with this situation. I want it to be done. And now that we have Albrecht of the werewolves here, and Vital in the city, and Cash with his couple of demons, and Dante with his demon and God.
Yeah, it's like a freaking smorgasbord around here.
Exactly.
Little too much power around here, drawing way too much attention.
Exactly, especially with the hunters.
Well, I'm talking to Cash off and on when I can. I'm talking to Cash, see if he can't, if his demon buddies can't find an alternate way to assist him without being here. That will decrease the amount of power around, which will decrease the watchful eyes that everyone has.
The other thing we could always do is divert the hunters towards another target.
can do that, but when I think Flora has a very specific standard. Got to be some kind of cosmic balance. And unfortunately, the numbers are overbalanced more than they should be.
Mm-hmm.
So she's allowing things to go as they will, one side or the other. She just lets, ironically, fate decide that.
Yep. But the biggest target right now is finding Dante and getting that dealt with.
Yeah, that asshole seems to be able to escape our sight for now, and Flora thinks she knows how it's being done because she knows some about Chronons himself.
Mm-hmm.
So she's getting a hold of a very old friend of hers. And this could be an interesting party if he decides to show up.
Interesting.
Because I think Chronons is going to get very pissed very quickly.
Is this another god from a different planet?
The same one who put Chronons in his cell.
The same one who was going to be assisting us if it came to a one-on-one battle with Dante?
I am not at liberty to discuss.
Not a problem. All right. Well, I just wanted to find out whether that was the case with his black blob or not. They've shrunk it down. I'll still be able to see it if I come within a certain range of them.
You'll have to get pretty well. With your little power, you'll actually be able to see it still pretty well, but it may be blended in because there are some other, actually, ironically, non-related black blobs that are showing up.
But
I'm kind of keeping an eye on how you do things, and Flora gave me a trick.
Basically, those black blobs and everything else so are always search points to begin with.
That's true. Just remember, not all of them are, don't go in guns blazing or whatever. They're not all against you. It's just some people like to keep secrets.
Yes, I understand that. There was one that came and introduced themselves to the Seneschal today, and I'm not sure who they were because I couldn't pick them up.
They are a neutral party in all of this. I will confirm that much. I will say that they really have no involvement whatsoever. And if they were to get involved, well, I feel sorry for whoever side they're not on.
Well, I just don't really like unknowns when it comes to issues like this going on.
Well, I will confirm they are definitely not on Dante. Well, Charles' side. I can't call him Dante. I just don't feel right doing it.
Not a problem. All right. I will continue my search then.
All right, well, have fun.
I have a new thing.
So we're still working on something, and be careful before you do that little right that you're thinking.
Mm-hmm. You saw that, did you?
What don't I see? Are you kidding? Right now I'm seeing shit over across the other side of the world. Really, after a while it gets kind of freaky, but give it a few hundred years to get used to it.
Yep. And I've gotten used to my little area. I can understand seeing it worldly.
Oh, seeing everything worldly. At least particular things. I mean, at least got to thank Flora for that one. She didn't make it so that I had to see every little freaking detail, but it's ironically it's kind of more centered on. I'm more World of Darkness oriented for the ice. So that narrows the gap down quite a bit.
Okay.
But I do keep an eye on some of the mortal affairs, for lack of a better term.
Have you seen where Marcus Vital is at the moment?
Yeah, I know where Prick is.
And is he following along with Giovanna's plan?
Yes, but he has plans to prevent any possible betrayal, which I fully expected.
Well, yes, he's an ancient La Sombra. Fun stuff.
I really didn't expect Giovanna. I know Giovanna's Malkavan and little, but I didn't think she was that crazy because she didn't even like the asshole.
Now, does he have a working window on when he thinks things are going to come to fruition the way he's planning it?
If everything goes the way he plans, he expects within, I think his estimated time of actual everything coming to fruition is in a month at least. But he is making backup plans in case it takes longer. Mind you got to remember, your kind is all very patient, especially the older one.
Yes, I'm just thinking more about the creatures that are a little more impatient and have given a certain time frame for the traitor to be found.
Yeah, there's more information working with that. I'm doing my best to keep them calm. Flora's doing her best. We even have Gaia pushing her weight.
This is the reason why I want to try and get Dante.
Yeah,
If we can alleviate that issue, we can get Albrecht out of the city and dealt with that way.
well, the good news is I think Robert managed to convince Albrecht that they'll handle it if it becomes a major issue. He will then contact Albrecht and say it's go or no go.
All right.
So he managed to talk Albrecht into leaving the area.
I've already left a message with the Seneschal about having Robert contact me, so I'm hoping that happens.
Have you met Jojo?
Jojo.
That questioning look gives me enough information. You have not met him.
Is he a were creature?
Yes, he is a Korax. He's a crazy little bastard.
He's the one who deals with the technology?
He works with the technology more than the others. He's a were-raven, and as ravens go, even in history, they're messengers. That's exactly what they are for the shifter societies, basically just giant messengers and gossip queens, actually. Learned a lot from them if you get him talking. Jojo doesn't take any sides. He liked cash. He likes Robert. He likes that. He doesn't like Albrecht because Albrecht's a dick.
Okay.
even to other shifters because he's the king of the shifters, so he thinks he's a...
Okay.
Jojo, however, can get messages to Robert a little quicker than probably Duke can do. Mainly because Duke has to wait for Robert to come out of the cairn. Normally that wouldn't be an issue because they had phones there, but with all the step up in security, so to speak, because of all the bigwigs coming, Gaia just kind of put a quash on that for right now.
Are you able to get a hold of Robert?
Please, like fucking Albrecht's gonna stop me. Fuck him.
Would you be able to pass a message on to Robert then that I'd like to talk with him?
Sure.
He's not going to tear me apart if he sees me in person, is he?
No, he's actually a little more laid back and a little more interesting. I guess it's just family line, I guess, both sides.
Okay. I'm going to continue driving around and looking for black spots and start mapping them out. Okay. I think that's a good way of pinpointing things.
Okay.
Okay. If you get a hold of him, you have my number. I guess that would be the easiest way for him to reach me.
I don't
and,
know if you don't worry about that.
And then we can always get together and have a conversation, him and I. You're welcome to join us if you want.
Well, I'm probably listening anyways. Whether or not,
of course.
Different story, but...
Yes. All right. I'm going to continue on my way then.
Okay.
I thank you for your help.
Yep.
And check with Flora and everybody if we're on for, Thursday night for our game.
Oh yeah, game's still going on.
All right.
Change that.
Good.
Although your new friend is going to be quite interesting because
technically, out of character, technically he's not even there yet. It's 3 weeks from now.
That's right. Okay, glad you reminded me. Keep thinking that it was already happened, and then I forget that we haven't jumped into 3 weeks yet.
Yeah, this will be 1 week next Thursday. Okay.
Yeah, so we'll definitely be there Thursday because everybody wants to get their money.
All right.
Give it to you optionally.
Either or.
Really, what do gods need with money? Let's be honest. I don't need money. Shit.
True. They can always make it more interesting if they want. Doesn't have to be money they give me.
I'll talk to him, see what they do. But I'll get a hold of Robert and let you know.
All right. Thank you.
He just disappears.
Yeah. I'll continue driving around and I'll just keep mapping out. I'll have like a map of DC and I'll just be putting the little marks on it as I go along. Black spot here, black spot here. that type of thing.
A short time later, your phone rings.
Hello?
Heard you wanted to talk to me.
Is this Robert?
I hope so.
Okay.
Having
Pleasure
an
to-
out-of-body experience.
Pleasure to be able to speak to you finally. I hear that you have a few powerful friends in town right now looking for Dante, or Charles, as his name is.
Yeah, believe me, I wish they could be gone.
I understand. I've
Not
been
my call.
driving around right now, mapping out some possible locations. The problem is, not all of them will actually be hostile, I guess. So we can't really go in guns blazing. But what we can do is we can start narrowing it down and try to find where Dante may be. I hear that Albrecht wants his pound of flesh from him for a few.
Well, Albrecht just wants his pound of flesh just to make a point to the kindred. Blah blah blah. Yak yak yak.
Mhm.
Most of the shooters that were killed by Charles's stupidity was from our cairn. So Albrecht really doesn't have any saying in it. That's kind of what I've been trying to get across to this thick stone fucking head.
I understand. Your cairn's fairly close to my own territory that I am prince of.
We've been well aware.
Mhm.
At least you clear, give you space.
Yeah.
You don't bother us, we don't bother you, so we haven't had any reason to have to interact any.
And I appreciate that. So I've been driving around right now through DC, and I've been mapping out a few locations.
Okay.
I want to get Dante taken care of. Well, Charles.
Okay. I have a question.
Mhm.
Do you have any of his personal items that we can use? Some percent more for other methods that my people have unique access to.
I don't on my own, but if we go to the Vox, I'm sure that we could probably get some from the current Seneschal.
Good, that would be helpful.
Do you want to meet me at the Vox and we'll go through and see what we can do?
Yeah, that works. Maybe we can finally get something going, because the sooner we get this taken care of, God, I gotta get away from Albrecht. Seriously, I'm gonna kill him.
Are you able to leave without him?
Oh yeah.
Because I hear
Yeah,
he's not
they're all
exactly
dying.
that friendly even to us who are trying to help.
He can kiss my ass. I don't care.
Okay. Well, if you want to meet me at the Vox, then I'll go down that way. We'll go up and talk to Duke and get something. And then if you have someone who can actually send him out, we can go by some of these spots that I've located and see whether we catch his scent around them.
Well, I was planning on kind of sending a couple out in basically everywhere and just kind of trying to smell them out that way.
That works too.
Focus on those spots just in case that it's just a kind of like distraction kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Here's another question. Your kind that can scent things, do demons smell different?
Yes. It's really odd because they, no matter how they're walking around, they still have the unique smell to them.
Good. Dante has a demon helping him.
Well, unfortunately, it's DC. There's a bunch of them around. You could get.
I know of 3.
Believe me, there's probably more than that. Just probably only know the 3 powerful ones, but there's a bunch of little minor ones around that we just ignore because they're no real threat. You guys, ironically, seem to keep their people in check more than you know.
I'm not very fond of having demons. I'm not a big fan of the Infernal.
Well, unfortunately, no way to stop them. They'll just come back again and again.
True. All right, so I'll meet you at the Vox.
All right, I'll meet you at the Vox.
Okay. I'll hang up, turn around, go to the Vox, and wait for Robert. Who I do know what he looks like because I've seen him repeatedly.
You do. Probably about 20 minutes later, you see there's Robert, and he's got like 3 people with him. You see him just kind of, say something to him and just kind of motions them off. He's kind of looking around because he doesn't know what you look like.
I'll give him a wave.
He walks over.
Robert.
I hope so.
Magnus. Pleasure to meet you. And I hold out my hand to him.
He shakes your hand.
Okay. Let's go in and talk to Duke.
All right. You guys go upstairs, talk to Duke. I'm just going to make this quick. Just to get on with the rest, because I got to kind of pause it at some point because it's going to involve everybody else.
Yep.
You guys managed to find like a couple of things. Unfortunately, it's not much. It's not like you brush his teeth or anything, so we wouldn't have any of that important.
Well, before the blob happened, I'm sure I got a chance to see him using or doing something with a lot of things and see which ones he uses more often than not.
Yeah. So even Robert will pick up a couple of things that, you and Duke both picked up a bunch of stuff, carefully, or at least pointed it out instead of picking it up, just to be on the safe side. Robert would walk over. You actually notice he puts on gloves. It smells like an old book. Like he went through a bunch of things. He found a couple of things that he thinks they might be able to get a scent. Now, mind you, my scent isn't, I didn't really focus on that because it's never really necessary. I usually just could tell. So I'll give these to the people who are some of our expert trackers, and believe me, they could smell a fart in, the sewer.
Okay.
And they'd be able to tell you who farted and, what they ate for breakfast.
All right.
And creepy at times, actually. I will try and disperse this amongst them, see what they can do. So please tell your people not to be alarmed when there's a few more shifters around. We are not here for you guys.
Okay. And Duke got that information too, so that's good.
Yes, he was it. Yeah. That's why Robert specifically said it with Duke in the room.
Now, is there any way your shifters that are with you, are they going to be friendly enough with Kindred that we could work with them if they need?
I purposely brought some of the shifters who have interacted with at least the gang grill a few times, so they have no real issues. They, we still have our beliefs, and most of us still think you guys are tainted, and believe me, you smell it.
Now, out of character, that would be a question. My humanity is 6 right now.
You still smell like worm tainted animal. With shifters, it doesn't really matter. You could have a humanity of 10. It's because you are kindred that makes you have a different smell, because you're a dead body basically walking around. That's what you're smelling. That's why they know.
All right. Well,
you just cut out, just so you know. So good. Almost there. I figured.
all right. I apologize about that.
Well, it was going good for a while, so hey, I can't argue.
Almost made it.
So close. I'm like, damn it, so close.
Okay. So anyway, like I was saying, I wouldn't mind working with this stuff. And there's a reason why I don't have to hunt. I can actually create my own food source. So therefore, a little bit better off, I think, than some of the kindred that are around.
That's true.
Now, these spots here that I was talking about, you have your friends downstairs. A few of them can actually sniff it out, I'm guessing, if we were to go for a quick drive.
A couple of them can, but they're not my hardcore trackers. Believe me, I can't go anywhere without having at least 2 or 3 shifters coming with me, because
protection.
Like I need it, but yeah, keeps them happy, keeps them quiet, keeps the elders happy, keeps them quiet. So whatever makes them happy.
Well, I usually don't have to worry as much because, well, my sword is protection enough usually. Out of character, he would be feeling uncomfortable because of the sword, most likely.
Yeah.
As do the kindred that I interact with anyway.
Yeah.
But
well, if he's feeling uncomfortable, he's not showing.
That's fine. So just give them a heads up that I do have my own protections for that type of thing, and they won't be used against them unless they attack me. then I'll defend myself.
They won't attack unless given orders.
Okay.
The only good thing is they're very
Loyal? That's good.
they'll do what they're told. I mean, they may be a little trigger happy, itchy finger, but they still will not act without orders because there's
Okay.
so much you could learn about Karoo society that would just blow your mind about how organized they really are, as much as people think we're disorganized.
Mm. All right. Well, we're done here for this part, but I did still want to speak with you about some other things. You got a minute to go somewhere private?
Sure, let's go.
All right. Take him to a private location. I'm
Okay.
guessing the Tremere have quite a few of them.
Quite.
Okay.
He did stop and tell his friends that he'll be back. Not to worry. They looked a little anxious. He's like, just have fun.
Okay. So when we get into the private area and everything else, I make certain no one's following, listening, that type of thing.
Okay.
I ask him, how much do you know about what's going on right now with this whole Charles issue?
Quite a bit more than I can say freely in certain areas.
Have you heard about Marcus Vital?
Yes, I heard.
So you know of our mutual friend's little plan then?
Crazy ass plan. Yeah.
Hmm?
Crazy woman thinks it'll work. The sad thing is, I don't know. I mean, I know what Charles is. I know what he's capable of.
I know that Albrecht has been itching for resolution within a few weeks.
I'm pushing that as far as I can. Like I
Mhm.
said, I may even be able to talk him into leaving it in our hands for now. I mean, I think he's more pissed off that we called him out of his nice cushy little home in Russia.
Okay. I just wanted to mention that because from the intel that I have, Marcus's plan seems to be at least a month for it to come to fruition the way he wants.
Well, if I can talk Albrecht into going back to his place, other than just annoying us with random, I'd say phone calls, but they're a different kind of phone call than you're used to.
I can do some similar to that, I'm sure. Not exactly the same, but... And, well...
Other than that, he would probably just leave it in our hands. We can deal with it. I mean, he already knew we could deal with it ahead of time.
Yeah.
But it was a required meeting amongst all the heads, sort of, just in case Charles decided to leave the country.
Mhm.
Figured we needed to let all the other heads know what was going on.
Okay.
And that he is a wanted man. Not that it would have taken a lot anyways. All we had to say was there's a vampire running around that needs to be killed.
Yep.
Believe me, that pretty much got everybody's attention real quick. And then we had to explain the difference between what we're looking for and what they're used to finding. It's
So
hard
you
to
know,
be very
you know a lot about that too.
Oh, quite a bit.
Okay. Yes. I'd normally be able to probably talk to you my normal way, but I'm guessing that your cairn is guarded from...
Right now, yeah. It's one of the first fucking things Albert did when he came in.
Mhm. Otherwise, I would just suggest having a bowl of water near you. As long as I can get close enough to the cairn, I can usually talk to you through that, or at least send messages to you.
That works.
If-
We always have water. I mean, we got a little creek that runs right by the cairn. So
Okay. If your goddess is willing to actually allow me to speak that way, that would be a beneficial thing.
not like we communicate on a regular basis, but
I
she
understand.
will disagree. She'll tell me. One way,
Alright.
shape, or form. Since I'm sitting here talking to you, she's not upset about it.
Yeah, as Magnus kind of looks up at the sky and everything else goes, yes, I understand how that can be. Do you know if she plays poker?
No clue, honestly.
He just laughs a little bit and he says, that's okay, just curious. Kind of looks up again to the sky. Anyway, the basic thing that I'm talking about right now is I know that Giovanna has her plan involving Marcus Vital and hoping they deal with each other. That all goes the way that she's hoping. I may be making a play for the princehood of DC. If that goes through, I would like to ensure that the pact between your Cairn, DC, and preferably Bethesda as well, because it is still my little baby, is taken care of.
Okay. Well, that can be arranged once everything is solved. It's just right now with tension so high because we haven't got any answers. That's kind of what's upsetting everybody. I keep trying to tell them we are doing our best. I don't even tell them you guys are involved in helping because they frequently be mad about that. Sometimes the less they know, the better, believe me.
If you can get one of your trackers into the city, I can take them around to the spots that I've marked. You can have your other ones do the scanning around the city and checking and things like that. But I would like one that could come with me, because if we can find his scent or the demon scent, then we can deal with that situation.
Okay. I think I have just the person in mind.
Okay.
Doesn't mind working with Kindred.
Is this
time and time again?
What was that character's name that was mentioned earlier? The Korax?
Jojo? No, Jojo doesn't have the power to.
Okay. I didn't know if Jojo was able to do that or not.
No, he's a messenger.
Okay.
He's really good at knowing a lot of people, but he's a messenger. Nothing against him. I mean, he's got a strong suit, and believe me, piss him off. But
okay.
It's fun to see him get pissed off a little bit.
All right. Yeah, if you can get someone in contact with me like that, that would be good. You have my contact number.
Yeah, I will notify you as soon as I can. I need to get back to the Cairn, talk to them. Hopefully Tuck Albrecht and get the fuck out of Dodge because I hate his ass. Ugh. Just him being around makes me want to slap the shit out of him.
Yeah, it would probably be beneficial for everybody.
Again, too much power in one spot. This is bad news.
Well, 3 major demons, a lot of elder kindred, a lot of elder werewolves, a lot of hunters. Yeah. Have you guys had any issues with the hunters?
A few. They got dealt with.
Okay.
We're kind of hinting to them that the last thing they want to do is go near Seneca Creek at this point. Some aren't. Some are getting the hint. Others think they can come in numbers. They don't realize the numbers we have right now, so they're finding out the hard way. But we expect hunters all the time, so we're kind of used to it. Rumors floating, stuff like that.
Well, especially because they're most likely here for kindred and deciding to go after other supernaturals, they may not be quite as prepared as they expect.
Yeah, a few have found out the hard way that they weren't really prepared. What was that, a steak? What the fuck? I look like a vampire?
All right. Well, I look forward to hearing from you then. And let's get this taken care of as fast as we can and with as little bloodshed as possible.
Agreed. Make things so much easier.
Thank you.
Get things back on track. Less stress. Less assholes around.
I agree. All right. You have a good evening, and I'll walk you back over to the Vox, and I'll head on my way. I'm going to go and map out the rest that I can of DC.
All right.
Okay.
All right, you guys part ways.
Yep. I'll continue on where I was left off, mapping out the areas, things like that, waiting to see if anyone calls, contacts me, or anything else. If nothing else happens,
once I've leave it for at least till after next session, as long as things go first. So I won't contact you until then. But.
Okay. So once I'm done driving around DC and mapping out those areas, I'm guessing that's going to take me quite a while. I'll bed down at my DC Haven, which is the protected one for casting and stuff. Before I go to bed, I'm going to practice a little bit with my spells and things.
Okay.
And then I'll head to bed.
Okay.
How many days do we have before the next game session takes place?
I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking of actually doing it technically actually doing about a week at a time, but I don't want to skip too much because I know a lot of people have things that they want to get done. However, it's going to help a lot because then skip a lot of the unnecessary. So I haven't really decided yet. I'll figure something out and put it in group chat so that way everybody knows. It'll
Alright.
probably be like a week just to kind of speed things up.
I'm going to meet with the different Primogen then and just basically talk with them about the hunters and to stress to their clanmates to avoid the hunters at all possible. Try not to engage them, because the more confirmation they have of kindred in the area, the more hunters that will be coming.
Very true. Most of the Primogen will agree, of course, because they know the deal. Actually, all the Primogen agree with it. It's just keeping their people in line is the harder part. But
Okay.
each Primogen can handle their things they're enemy right now.
And I mentioned
this back in now. Everything basically has to go through him for attacks and kills and whatnot. Because he's treated like the prince right now.
Yep. And I ask people's opinions on him.
No, most people don't have a problem with Duke. They just don't see him as a leader. I mean, which is what he admitted, though. I mean, he's good at a lot of the stuff he does. Like, like he's a really good warrior, really good soldier, police officer, for lack of a better term.
All right. Well, I tell them I'm going to keep an eye on him and see if I can assist him while he's in his temporary position. But once things start to be taken care of, I will be looking at what we discussed before.
Okay.
I know there's plans currently in the works, and I'm just waiting to see what happens, but it looks like that may be at minimum a month away for things to come to fruition. And they may not come the way that certain people are hoping. Okay. If anyone has anything else to bring to me, I'll talk to them about it.
I may think of something later, so we may have to do more stuff.
Okay. And yeah, I make certain that I do assist Duke with some of the different issues that are going on.
Okay.
If he needs any help, if he finds people that are still loyal to Dante that he needs to deal with, that type of thing, I'll be more than happy to lend my blade, etc. Make a point of those who are still loyal to the imposter.
Yeah.
Okay.
Choose your loyalties, asshole.
Pardon?
And choose your loyalties, because the wrong one's going to get you killed.
Yep. And especially with that sword.
All right, so let's see.
Has there been any infernals that I've been noticing when I'm walking around and everything else?
No, you guys pretty much cleaned up the infernals.
Okay.
Yeah, because those are the ones who actually need packs. The others just followers, so they wouldn't get classified as infernals. Yeah, so you haven't, I mean, you run into a few here and there, but they don't have any, I don't know if you can tell, but they don't have any kind of ties to Charles's master, for lack of a better term.
Okay.
If there's going to be infernals, people believe what they want to believe.
I will talk
It's
to.
stupid packs.
Yeah, I will talk to the Seneschal there, Duke, and just make certain that I have permission if I find infernals to summarily deal with them.
Oh, yeah, you will definitely agree to that.
Okay.
They don't need infernals running around.
All right. So if I come across any, I'll make certain that they're taken care of.
Okay.
Privately, so that it doesn't breach masquerade or anything else like that. The way that a 1,000-year-old vampire would deal with that type of thing.
Yeah. Well, I figured you wouldn't be running around just chopping their heads off in the middle of traffic.
Yeah.
Hey, look.
Look at that cyclist. All right. And then, yeah. Most of my time then is watching, helping out Duke, and keeping an eye out. Once I get contacted by Robert, I'll be doing my travels around, but you said that'll probably be after the session.
Yeah, I just want to see how things go with that.
So I'll continue practicing my spells.
Okay.
Including practicing my spells on the infernals that I find.
All right, we'll say 8 XP for the side sessions.
All right. Did you want to do anything with my ritual?
Not right now, mainly because I want to get things. I want to figure out exactly the specifics.
Okay.
We can still say that it's done on the side, even if it is later. We'll just say it's done on the side, and has no real impact on much. Because
Okay.
honestly, like I said, the first long while, right after you do your first change, they're basically going to see you as a pup, so they're going to want to teach you the right ways first.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going to be like, here's the group laws, so on and so forth. Plus, it gives you, as the player, time to
Learn.
do a little bit of reading and get the basic general gist. I mean, there are some things, obviously, they're not going to teach you. They're not going to go into full details about every little thing.
Yeah.
They'll basically teach you, okay, this is what, this is the laws for the veil, which is what they call it. Instead of the masquerade, it's the veil.
Mm-hmm.
And they have close to the same laws, basically, well, obviously, slightly changed for group, but it's basically don't show yourself to, show your true self to anyone. Blah, blah.
Yep.
They kind of look out, though, because when they shift into their war form, it tends to incite a delirium, which makes most people either go crazy, run and flee in terror, or pass out and think they had a bad dream.
Yep. Okay.
But yeah, so I want to get a few things analyzed first, and then we can do that side session where your alter ego.
It would be funny if Robert took him under his wing, especially if he figured out who he was.
Oh, that would be hilarious.
Yeah.
That is a thought, but I think I'm going to keep it with the Glasswalkers for now, since I had Holly and Joey create him. I mean, they created small pack, which I wanted them to do, because there's not going to be a huge group of crew sitting in the city.
Yep.
Glasswalkers just ain't stupid.
Understandable.
All right. Well, with that, thank you all for watching. Stay tuned for more, and good night, all.